Hey everyone, Graph Paper Architect here, and I was prompted by the Motivation Monday hashtag for the TTRPG Design Community, so I made a mind map with that in mind. And by the way, if you like the way that I've already created the mind map and I'm going to take you through it versus the other video that I did, which is maximizing your time for game design, in which I draw the mind map out during the video, let me know which format you like better in the comments. I'd really appreciate that. And of course, like, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. Helps me out a lot. So let's go ahead and jump into this. First of all, let me try this other side. We have our W matrix. And I know that I've spoken to you about this before, but these are the questions. They're critical questions that you want to ask yourself and your team about all elements of your business and your game design, all the way down to the very granular parts whenever you're making a non-player character or you're creating an environment or a dungeon or a world, whatever it is that you're, however large you're going or however small you're going, you want to run it through the W matrix and ask yourself those questions. Now this mind map behind me helps you focus on why, the big why, you want to be a game designer, why you're doing it at all, and also some of the how-tos that you're going to do of it, and we'll just go ahead and get started and dive right in. This being game design, and when you draw your mind maps, use any format that feels good to you. Maybe you use different colors, maybe you use circles, squares, triangles, rectangles. It could be nebulous, it could be cellular, it could be more like a list format, it could be whatever it is that feels right for you. Explore with it, try it out, because as you are firing off your brain, both hemispheres of your brain, by the way, which is what mind mapping does, it connects your artistic side to your analytical side, you'll begin to extract this information from the questions that you're asking yourself. And you need to do it in a format that feels good to you. I liked the cellular design for this one, so we'll go ahead and jump in. This is game design. Now we start thinking about all of the different things that are attached to game design. And I started on motivation, right? So we'll go ahead with motivation. Why are you trying to make a game? Why do you want to? What is your motivation for doing so? And of course, there are some. Obviously, we want to make some money because we like to be able to pay our bills and eat food. Food costs money. You've got fame. Do you want to be famous? Do you want to be out there at the conventions rubbing elbows with a Gygax and, hey, we made this really cool game. Maybe get some Ennies. Who knows? I should have put that on there. Maybe some awards. And then, of course, deciding whether or not you want a hobby or whether you want a business. Big difference here. So if you're doing this for a hobby and it's just, okay, cool, fun, maybe we'll just give it away. It's going to look a lot different than if you're doing a business. And then, of course, attached to doing it as a business is going to be a lot different. You're going to have what you're doing as a business, your media, your contracts, your budget. Are you an LLC? How do you form that? How do you do that? Big difference between a hobby, business. Huge. I'll step over this way. Or maybe I'll just go over this way. Let me look at the monitor and see. Yeah, there we go. So, game design. What format is your game going to be in? Are you doing video games, pen and paper games, board games, war games, tabletop games? This breaks out even more right up in here. I didn't break it out, but you can see where that can go. Your audience, you're considering who's your audience. Your genre, are you going to be medieval or future, or where are you at? See? Where? And what time? As you go through this matrix, you'll start to see things like, okay, well, now we need to start diving into what sort of tools are we going to use? Are we using PCs? Are we using pen and paper? And then over here in the business one I didn't even think of there was like, what format is it going to be? When is it going to be print only? Is it going to be PDF only? How does that business model work? And moving up from there, talking about business, let's talk about money, okay? Crowdfunding, Patreon, coffee, or Ko-fi. Is it Ko-fi or coffee? Let me know in the comments. I'd like to know how to pronounce that. What are you going to use? Like maybe Fourth Wall. That's a nice option that we're considering for using for our own business. All right. Then when you're in your testing phase, that's another big one. Testing, you've got Discord, you've got Slack, and also that connects to the business, that connects to the tools. Things can begin to congeal, and you'll start to see that one particular element can connect to different aspects of the business. You will also want to try to break out each one of these, blow it up into its own mind map. Testing is a huge one. How are you going to test? How are you going to get testers? Where are you going to get, you're going to get them online. Well, they need to have an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement for the non-legalese people. And so, yeah, you're looking at what are you going to do? How are you going to do it? And then, of course, when and where and who is going to do it and how is it all going to function together. You begin to extract this information, put it out on paper. I thoroughly recommend drawing it out, and using this tool will then give you focus. You'll be able to go, yes, this is how this will work. This is how we will go with this. Maybe this is the project that we will attack today. Then you have your motivation. It's easy once you have a focus because, well, you know what you're doing. It's easier when you know what you're doing. Helps you not drift. That's all the time that we're going to take today. I'm going to keep this light and fast. Thanks again for watching. If you find any value in this video, please remember, like, subscribe, share it with someone that's important to you, and until next time, friends, good journey.